Today we want to talk about true knowledge, and this is a very essential point because it is important to understand what is your knowledge and what is the knowledge you have been given through second sources. Now, in our view, everyone is born into truth. It is something you have always with you, and you can always practice the truth. It doesn't matter in which emotional condition or physical condition you are into it. It's the only thing you can always practice. You don't need to be awakened for it. You don't need to be a special one. You don't need to be an intellectual one or in any way gifted. You just have to have the intention to practice radically the truth with yourself. And when you do that, you will reach to a knowledge which is going to be yours and yours alone. And only that knowledge is made to bring you a benefit, a real benefit. It can happen that when you read something, it triggers a process within you, and then you make that information you listened or you watched it in a video, whatever, it becomes your knowledge. But another thing is when you start to observe yourself, and through this self-observation, you reach insights. You have experiences and they reflect somehow into your intellect. And from there, you can speak genuine. You can speak in a way that doesn't sound like all the other things, like, I don't know what to say, like live in the here and now, for example. Yeah. I'm not saying it is wrong to say that. But look in it. Is it really yours? Is it the way you speak? Right? So, in the truth, you cannot imitate anybody. Because the truth is not veiled as a common thing. It is veiled individually. Therefore, you can read the truth of many masters, of many books. You can read the truth and you cannot take it into your life. Because the truth is an individual process. You have to walk through it by yourself. Very often, we have this impression that when we read something or we listen something, that it is exactly the way we think, it's exactly the way we also would express it. Yeah. Because the truth is also one. At the end, there is not really a different truth, but the way towards it is an individual way. Yeah. And that makes it a bit tricky, no? Especially if you are a very mind-oriented person, then you have the idea that when you read things that you know, that you have knowledge. But knowledge is always connected to an experience. All the other is information. And it can be very, very interesting to listen to a person who's got a lot of information about things. And this is what we call scholars. There is almost scholars in every tradition. Yeah, there is Buddhist scholars, there is Christian scholars, there is Jewish scholars, there is scholars in the Sikh tradition, in the Hindu tradition, they call them Pandits. So there is everywhere scholars, but scholars have just a very good memory and they have a lot of information, which can give them some insights by contemplating. But it cannot lead you beyond your personality. Okay. So when you say, my knowledge or my body, my emotion, my life, there is always an owner. And you have to question yourself, who is the owner? Who is the owner of my life? If I say my life or my body, who is the owner? Yeah. Because you will understand you are not the body. Yeah. You're just dressed with the body. You are not your emotions either. You're just dressed with them. You're not your thoughts. If we ask ourselves what is the origin of our thoughts, it is impossible to say because we want to know it, and all what we want to know, all this information and knowledge is located in the ego structure, and the ego just does not know. Yeah. Real knowledge is always beyond your ego structure, our ego personality. No? Therefore, you need to experience. In our tradition, we say don't talk anything beyond your experience. Yeah. If it is just one experience, let's say you have just one crucial experience, it is enough. It is enough to see to this lens, and through one point you may enlighten all your life, all the aspects of your life.